I'm Johanna Derlega, publisher of The Hill, and welcome to this morning's briefing, Turning Genes into Medicine, Reimagining Our Healthcare System. Today's event is sponsored by Spark Therapeutics, and I thank them for making it possible. Recent scientific advances in the field of gene therapy have raised the prospect of a new approach to treating rare, chronic, and inherited diseases. We are here to discuss whether industry stakeholders are prepared for how these breakthroughs may impact the healthcare market. What role can regulators and policymakers play in supporting innovation while ensuring affordability and access? This morning, we will hear from policymakers, health industry representatives, and patient advocates about the impact of medical breakthroughs on the American health ecosystem and its patients. Before we get started, just a few notes of housekeeping. In addition to those of you in the studio, we are live streaming on thehill.com. We ask that you keep your phones on silent, but we encourage you to join the conversation on social media. You can follow us on Twitter at The Hill Events, and you can comment using the hashtag Genes4Medicine, and that's the number 4. We're going to be taking questions throughout the program, so keep an eye out for those members of the staff that have handheld mics. And finally, there is a short survey on your chairs. We'd love your feedback, so please do fill those out at the end of the program. Before we get underway, I'd like to invite Jeff Morazzo, CEO of Spark Therapeutics, for brief remarks. Jeff.
Thank you, Joanna. We're honored to partner with The Hill to help drive forward this important conversation and appreciate being a part of this. So a bit about Spark Therapeutics. Spark Therapeutics was founded in 2013, built on over a decade of gene therapy research and expertise accumulated at the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. Since then, we've invested millions of dollars in Pennsylvania and created more than 300 jobs, which is especially noteworthy because every new job in the biotech sector has more than 5 additional jobs that are created as a multiplier effect. Our vision is to create a world where no life is limited by genetic disease. And we believe that gene therapy may offer a revolutionary new approach to medicine with the potential in a single dose to correct an underlying genetic defect and deliver long-lasting, life-altering benefits to both children and adults with genetic disease. In the last few years, medical science has experienced an unprecedented procession of major breakthroughs. Just 2 weeks ago, the first CAR T-cell therapy was approved for certain pediatric and young adult patients with a form of acute lymphoblastic leukemia. Still, 1 in 10 Americans live with a rare disease, and about half of these are affected are children. At Spark Therapeutics, we believe that a genetic disease should not be a life sentence. Gene therapy has the potential to reverse the effects of life-altering genetic diseases and, importantly, reduce the burden of chronic treatment. We aim to turn genes into medicines. The FDA recently granted priority review to our investigational one-time gene therapy candidate for patients with vision loss due to inherited retinal diseases, or IRDs, caused by biallelic RP65 mutations. In clinical trials, it restored functional vision after a one-time injection in nearly all participants, who typically would progress to complete blindness. Let me show you what this improvement looks like in one representative clinical trial participant. So the first video that you'll see here on the left shows a 6-year-old girl walking through what we call a multi-luminescence mobility test course, or MLMT. This is designed to assess one's navigational abilities under different lighting conditions. This is prior to gene therapy administration. One of the symptoms of certain inherited retinal diseases is a marked visual impairment under low light conditions. You can see her hitting various obstacles and wandering off the mobility course and ultimately failing what is the multi-luminescence mobility test on both the dimension of accuracy and in completion time. And now what you'll see is the same girl 1 year later after investigational gene therapy treatment. The same girl at the same light level, and you'll see here, as I'll let it run, pass on both accuracy and time. We have phase 3 data that shows that this restoration in vision lasts at least 2 years on average from a single dose. We also have 4-year data from an earlier subset of participants in our phase 1/2 trial. And in the clinical program, no serious adverse events were associated with the gene therapy, and there were no deleterious immune responses. If approved, this investigational gene therapy would be the first gene therapy treatment for a genetic disease in the United States. But our work will not be done then. And our next challenge will be to ensure that this potential treatment and other one-time treatments like it can get to the patients who need them. To make this happen, we need to evolve our approach to coverage and reimbursement beyond chronically administered treatments. This is where we need your help and why today's conversation is so important. One-time treatments for serious diseases deserve a health system able to incorporate them, if not incentivize them, and help optimize their value to society. Today, I invite your ideas and support in identifying ways to evolve our system as we enter this new era of medicine. We feel a tremendous sense of shared responsibility to get this right. Many future medical breakthroughs depend on it, not just this one. And all healthcare stakeholders have a shared responsibility to strive for better treatment options and better health for patients. Patients like Allison, the young woman who was featured in this video created by the Foundation Fighting Blindness.
When I was younger, I was able to see the outlines and things. It was kind of like living a half-life. I would see my mom, but it would be hard for me to know if she was mad or happy. I have a degenerative eye disease where you lose your vision from birth, most of it, and you're legally blind your whole life. It made life challenging because if I wanted to read, I would have to go find a special lamp, plug it in, move it where I am. Everything is just harder. It was so hard to go to a different school and not have anybody and not be able to move around the way you want to. I would be scared, I'm gonna fall. Or I would be scared about taking classes at night because I'm not gonna be able to find my way. I left my school. It was just too much for me, and I was kind of like, what am I supposed to do with myself? I don't know what job I can get because I don't have an education, and then it makes it harder because I'm legally blind. I asked myself, where's my place? I felt lost.
Your voice will help ensure the millions of people like Allison find the path and live with hope for a life unlimited by genetic disease. Thank you for joining the discussion today.